to Fish on Fridays. I'm Al McCauley. And if you look at the Catholic Church's history of the papacy, from St. Peter, the first pope, all the way to our current pope, Francis, we've had 266 popes in history. 266. And of those 266 men, only 2 have been called the Great. Now, close to our own times, John Paul II is oftentimes affectionately referred to as John Paul the Great, but it hasn't really caught on or stuck in any kind of official way as the 2 other men I'm talking about. Pope Leo the Great, who reigned in the middle of the 5th century, and the subject of today's Fish on Fridays, Pope Gregory the Great. Pope St. Gregory the Great, we remember every year on September 2nd. That's his feast day.
Interrupting for a fact check. No, it's September 3rd.
He's going to reign as Pope from 590 to 604 AD. And boy, what a remarkable papacy. And this is, again, one of those episodes where I'm just going to scratch the surface. There's just so much. You have to think about this. Think about it this way. If you're called the Great, you probably have a great amount of things that have happened, that you've done, that you're responsible for. And I can only touch on the surface of it. And hopefully this will inspire you to look up St. Gregory for yourself and see a little bit more. But he was a theologian, first and foremost. He was a brilliant man who wrote many books. Literally hundreds of homilies and books and things of that nature come down to us today. Essays, different commentaries on the scriptures. He was a prolific writer. And I want to say something about that right now. Oftentimes in artwork, you will see that Gregory is painted or depicted with a dove right by his right ear. It's supposed to represent the Holy Spirit that's inspiring him to write as much as he did. But again, he just wrote a ton of stuff. He had a strong devotion to the Eucharist, ridiculously strong devotion to the Eucharist, insofar as even having mystical experiences where he would witness over the altar when he was saying Mass, he would witness the crucified Christ. Pretty remarkable. Other people were said to have witnessed this as well when he would say Mass. He was somebody who insisted on better education and formation for priests and also for the laity, so that we in the pews, as well as the people who are shepherding us, are all learning our faith and understanding our faith. And toward that end, he wanted to improve liturgy. So he was very strong in terms of raising the bar, if you will, so for sound liturgical practices. In fact, one of the ways he really excelled at this was in liturgical music. And some of you know where I'm going with this already. The style of music that was very popular out of his time was chant music. And in fact, we call it today Gregorian chant, referring to Gregory the Great, who really instituted this as a means of sung praise to God, as a way to worship well in Mass and in other parts of our day, for monastic people when they would, sing Vespers and the like, as well as in our own lives if we wanted to. It was Gregory that very famously said that the Pope is the servant of the servants of God. And I think in a lot of ways, I know when I taught church history, for years I taught church history in high school, I always said that should be the job description of every Pope, that the Pope is the servant of God. That the Pope's job is to help us, to serve us, so that we can better serve God. The Pope is not there to be served, but to serve, so that we can all bring others to Christ and bring Christ to those people in need. Gregory became Pope at a very pivotal time in history. We have to think about this in context historically. Europe had gone through the devastation of the collapse of the Roman Empire. By 476 AD, it was pretty much done. And so you have a lot of tribal battles going on, a lot of war and a lot of disease, not a lot of new developments of things going on. And it's in this chaotic time, in this vacuum that's created with no central authority anymore that the Roman Empire was for centuries. It's into that Gregory's strength as a leader, as a theologian, but also as a political leader, really came to the fore. So he spent money, a lot of his own family money, to rebuild Rome's defenses, to build up civic things like orphanages and hospitals and schools. Churches. He really wanted to raise society back up to a level of human dignity. And in doing so, whether he intended to or not, I would suggest he probably didn't intend to do this, he really helped to make the Catholic Church the central authority now, especially in the Western world, in Western Europe. And this is going to usher in a period of time we know as Christendom, that Christianity will become the dominant force in society over and above everything else, economic, culture, social, etc. That Christianity is going to be the dominant force. He helped to sign treaties with barbarian tribes so they would stop attacking. So he was not just a man of great religious intellect, of profound influence on the liturgy, but he was also somebody who really tried to bring together a lasting peace in a civil way in communities in and around and throughout Europe. And for that, again, he's given the moniker of the Great. Pope Gregory is a nothing short of just a powerhouse of a guy. He, like the other great, Leo, they're both doctors of the church. So that tells you that they're the preeminent teachers of the faith. There are only 27 saints in all of history who are doctors of the church. And
There are 37 doctors of the church, not 27.
there are two of them. So gives you, again, the sense of the depth, the breadth of his work, his intellectual work, and his influence on the church that still is there today, I would suggest. And he still sets the bar high for every pope that follows, to be that servant of the servants of God. And I think, how are we like that? None of us, most of us not watching this. I'm assuming Pope Francis isn't watching this, but, people who are watching this particular episode, in what way do you serve others so that they can serve God? Whether it be in your family, at your workplace, what have you, your circle of friends. So something to think about. But again, St. Gregory the Great, a wonderful man. Again, I left a lot on the table here. So hopefully you feel inspired to research on your own and learn more about this just genuine powerhouse. So there it is. Thanks for watching. We would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. But either way, please continue to tune in every Friday for Fish on Fridays. Until next time, please be good to each other and God bless.